Unit 1. Linking climate change impacts to increased workloads for women and children. In this video, we're going to explore how climate change impacts men, women, and children differently, and why gender equality is essential if we want to reduce the suffering of women and children in the face of changing climates. Have you ever wondered why climate change affects women more intensely? Or how gender roles shape the way different people cope with disasters? Let's start with the basics. Our perception of what it means to be a woman or a man are shaped by our own surroundings, by culture, media, and social expectations. From a young age, we learn that boys and men are often expected to handle specific tasks, while girls and women are pushed into others. But what if we challenge these stereotypes? Why do we assume only women can handle caregiving and only men can handle physical labor? These roles are not just set in stones. They can be challenged, changed, and most importantly, shared. Gender equality isn't just about fairness. It's about survival. Women, especially in rural and agricultural communities, play a critical role in their households and economies. But they also carry the heaviest burdens. Many women work the fields, raise children, care for the elderly, and provide food, water, and energy for their families. All of this while often being excluded from decision-making and denied equal access to resources. What could happen if women had equal access to resources, decision-making, and economic opportunities? How much stronger could our communities be in the face of climate change? When climate disasters hit, whether it's flood, drought, or cyclone, women and children are often the hardest hit. Why? Because they are more likely to live in poverty, more dependent on natural resources for survival, and more vulnerable to violence and exploitation during and after these disasters. Imagine this. A mother has to walk farther and farther every day to fetch water as rivers dry up. She spends hours gathering firewood because deforestation has left her community barren. Her children go hungry as crops fail due to erratic weather patterns. The more time she spends meeting basic needs, the less time she has to invest in education, earning an income, or participating in decisions that could improve her life. So, what can be done to reduce this burden on women and children? Gender equality is key to building resilience to climate change. When women have equal access to resources like education, finance, land, and technology, they can actively contribute to climate solutions. In fact, studies show that when women are involved in decision-making, communities are better prepared to face the challenges of climate change. Why aren't we tapping to this potential? Why are women still sidelined in decisions that affect their own survival? To address climate change effectively, we must first address these deep-rooted gender inequalities. Climate change adds even more to women's already overwhelming workload. After a disaster, women are expected to continue providing food, water, and care to their families, often under much harsher conditions. What we don't even see is that women are doing even more after a disaster than they were before, rebuilding homes, caring for injured relatives, and finding alternative ways to meet their family's basic needs. Have you ever considered how much harder women work after a disaster? And how little recognition or support they receive for their contribution? After extreme weather events, women and girls often face even more dangers. In emergency shelters, the risk of sexual exploitation and gender-based violence increases. Women may be forced to exchange sex for food or other essential supplies. The long-term effects of these traumas can be devastating, impacting their health, livelihoods, and dignity. What if we designed relief efforts and disaster recovery programs that prioritizes the safety and dignity of women and children? How much of a difference could that make? True resilience comes when everyone has a seat at the table, when women have access to decision-making, resources and opportunities to improve their situation. We can build stronger, more sustainable communities. Gender equity means giving women the tools they need to reduce their workloads, access to education and income opportunities, and protect their families from the impacts of climate change. What can you do in your own community to promote gender equity? How can you support women to take on leadership roles and share the burdens of climate change equally with men? In this video, you've learned how climate change disproportionately impacts women and children, and why gender equality is essential for building climate resilience. We've explored how traditional gender roles contribute to women's increased workload and how empowering women can change the way we approach disaster recovery and sustainable development. Now it's time to take action. In your community, how can you challenge traditional gender roles and reduce the burden placed on women? How can you ensure that women have equal access to resources, decision-making, and opportunities for a better future? Empower women. Build resilience. Secure the future. Together we can make a difference. Let's build a future where gender equality and climate action can go hand in hand, because when women thrive, entire communities rise. This publication was made possible through the funding provided by Global Affairs Canada under the Empowering Women and Girls project. The Commonwealth of Learning wishes to thank the contributors to this video: Kuntal D, Sandy Hertz, Francis Ferreira, Cyrus Kithuva, and Collins Omondi.